Will Poulter's Galley returns in Maze Runner, the death cure after seemingly dying in the first movie, and how he is alive is briefly explained. Thomas, Newt, Frypan, Brenda, and Jorge encounter Galley by surprise when they go to visit the Last City as part of their plan to rescue Mijo from WCKD. They are whisked away by Galley and other masked members of Right Arm, a rebellion group fighting back against WCKD, when they attack WCKD's headquarters. It is only once they are safe that Galley unmasks himself and welcomes Thomas and the other former Gladers. The appearance of Galley in Maze Runner, the death cure is a shock to Thomas and other characters, as well as audiences, based on the Maze Runner's ending. The 2014 movie that kicked off the sci-fi franchise concluded with Galley's apparent death. This comes as Mijo impales him in the chest with a spear, and he is last shown dying on the floor of the WCKD laboratory. The fact that Galley is alive in the death cure and did not die in the original movie leaves many questions about his fate and what happened to him between the films. Galley was saved after being left for dead in the Maze Runner's ending. Maze Runner's ending teased that he was still alive. Galley is alive in Maze Runner, the death cure, because he was rescued and saved after the Maze Runner's ending. Although the Gladers thought that he was already dead, Galley confirms that they left him to die. It was after they left that another group stumbled across the maze and laboratory and found Galley still inside. This group was part of the Right Arm. They discovered that Galley was immune to the flare virus and decided to bring him to the Last City to help nurse him back to full health from the Griever sting and being stabbed by Mijo. The ultimate reveal that Galley did not die in the Maze Runner was briefly set up in the original movie. During the final moments, Galley's body is shown lying on the laboratory floor, and there are subtle signs that he is still alive at that time. This allowed the Maze Runner movie franchise to tease book readers with Galley's return in the death cure while still making it look like he did or was going to die. Instead, Galley is rescued by the Right Arm, brought to its leader Lawrence, and ultimately joins the fight against WCKD. How Galley's survival in the death cure compares to the books. The movie franchise greatly changes Galley's story. Will Poulter as Galley for the Maze Runner poster. Galley was always meant to come back in the death cure based on the books, but how it happens is fairly different. It all begins with how the Maze Runner changed the books with the ending. Instead of Mijo seemingly killing Galley after he kills Chuck, Thomas attacks him. Galley was under Wicked's control at the time, and he is left unconscious and severely injured after Thomas's attacks. His body is then left behind with Wicked as the Gladers are escorted out of the facility to what they think is safety.